Well, I was born in Sutton Coldfield in Birmingham. I think it's probably quite important to point out that Birmingham has had a heritage of industry, and it used to be called the workshop of the world and the centre of metalwork. So this has had a profound effect on me as a sculptor. For instance, this piece here, which is called Fixing Blocks, is really me using the sort of proud heritage of Birmingham as it's almost like a second skin. It's actually about the space between the sculpture, not the actual sculpture itself. So the sculpture is a mechanism for fixing a block of space together. Hence you can look through the whole thing.
Talk about that other stuff indoors if you like.
Yeah, okay.
That block of space that I'm dealing with. And my work has always been to explore, really, never to conclude. I think it's kind of a healthy mindset as far as continuing your practice. And also, this is the foundry. So, bronze casting. So we pour the metal here. The thing is about Kingston is most of the staff that work here are practitioners, so they bring in their own professional practice into the university, and it's a much more lively atmosphere for that reason. It's better for the students as well. And this is a new piece of work that I'm making called Credit Crunch. And whereas with the nuts and bolts pieces, I was fixing space together and using sculpture as the mechanism for attaching the space. These are doing the opposite. So these are dividing space, slicing, wedging. I'm kind of a believer when it comes to sculpture of this spontaneous moments of magic, I call them, where actually when you're playing with the materials it starts speaking to you and you're having a conversation with what you're doing, and it's about reflecting on this conversation and registering the strengths or weaknesses and then resolving ultimately. So I've scaled these up to a huge scale because I think that what I like about sculpture is that physical presence of work. Certainly I experienced that when I worked for Anthony Caro, that physical presence, or a Richard Serra. For me, Richard Serra is king. I remember I found a steel wedge on Caro's sculpture workshop on the floor, and I looked at it and I thought, that's so sculptural. It's just, and you use them all the time, you know, to making things and propping things up.
Right.
And so they're actually integral to the making of sculpture. So that was part of the inspiration as well. But also I like the sound of them.